Hey parents, whether you're a first timer or whether you're in the thick of, the toddler territory, today I'm going to be talking about five random but absolutely essential items that every toddler parent should have in their household. And I'm not talking about, the regular diapers and diaper cream, not that kind of stuff. I'm gonna deep dive into the MVPs that, save your daily sanity. So stick around, and there should at least be one thing that makes you say, oh my gosh, yes. Hi guys, and welcome back to AKA Mama. My name is Tafara, and in this space I talk about parenting, motherhood, raising children abroad. I live in Germany. I have an absolutely amazing 3-year-old son, and I just share my stories and tips on how I've been navigating this journey so far. So let's start with that list of, the top five essential items I believe all toddler parents should have to maintain their sanity. I'm still sane, I think. All right, so diving into that list of those five essential items I mentioned, top on the list are batteries. So, mainly AA or AAA batteries, those are a game changer. You literally can't do without them. Why? Because toddlers' toys have no chill. So, 1 second that singing llama is lighting up the room like there's a concert, and next second it's dead. And the first one to lose it is not the llama but your child. So batteries are an absolute must have, and I hadn't noticed it. And there was a very, on that front, I was a very slow learner. Our son would come to me and he's like, "This is no longer working." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get batteries." And then I'd say, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get, we're gonna fix it. Tomorrow there'll be new batteries." Then I run my errands, and of course I forget to get batteries. And then the next day he's like, "Mom, you said you were gonna fix it." I'm like, "Oh, it still needs new batteries." And then he would ask me, "Why didn't you get batteries?" And it's like, "Yeah, I forgot." So batteries are an essential, a very, very key essential, because it's not only the toys, right? It's also some books with audio functions, if they have an electric toothbrush, but it's also like the baby phone and baby gadgets. They all just have batteries in different sizes. If the size was uniform, it would make it easier. So a bonus tip from my end, if you don't already have one, like just dedicate a drawer for children's toys and gadgets batteries, mainly AA, triple A. What are the gadgets your child has that has batteries? So you just stock them up, especially when batteries are on sale. You can never have too many batteries, because when these things run out of batteries, you least expect it. At least I'm not yet aware of the intervals of when it happens. um yeah, and it was a game changer just having a dedicated area for batteries. This is something I previously did not need, because I didn't have many things with batteries anyways. All right, so the second item I'm going to mention, I would classify the unsung hero, and that is that little screwdriver. So whether it's toys, remotes, baby phone, whatever gadgets, child related, for one reason or the other, all the screws that actually close these items are usually the size of an ant. So, respectively, you need a very, very, very tiny screwdriver. And I formerly didn't have a screwdriver of that size in my collection. I know there's some items you buy them and they actually come with a screwdriver, but it's not everything. And I don't know, I have this amazing talent of losing it. I've lost it a couple of times, and I don't order a new one because I always hope to bump into it. So, a bonus tip on this one is keep that baby screwdriver in a drawer you can actually find, and not the IKEA drawer with everything else. Ideally, I would suggest that you keep it, wherever else you're keeping the batteries. Then you just have one spot you need to memorize. It's easy to find. You don't spend 15 minutes digging through all other, tools and items that you have in the IKEA box. The next thing I find is a very key essential is a thermometer. And not necessarily one where it takes 60 seconds to measure the temperature under the baby's tongue, because children don't have that much patience. So I know the contactless ones, they're not always accurate, but they're a really great indicator, especially if your child falls sick at 2 a.m. in the morning. I think it's better to have some sort of indication than to not be able to measure the temperature at all, or to be struggling with a child that's not sitting still for 60 seconds whilst you're holding the thermometer under their tongue. Whether it's, a forehead, ear, or no contact thermometer, Just make sure it's easy to use, you know how to operate it, and you know where to put it. Additionally, also just always make sure that your thermometer has, a functioning battery, because yes, in crisis situation, assuming you don't have that dedicated battery area, you don't want to now start looking for a battery to put in your thermometer when you're already distressed. All right, let's talk snacks, because snacks are not just food for toddlers, they're like a currency. So I absolutely never leave the house without snacks, because what will I be trying? You definitely don't want to be caught in public without snacks, because that's how chaos starts. It could be that you get stuck in traffic, it could be that you're at the doctor's office and you're in the waiting room for longer than expected, or you have to make an unplanned stop at the grocery store and there's lots of stuff that children see in the supermarket that they want. So, like I said earlier, it's a form of currency. Before you start having a negotiation about, no, you don't need the snack, we're not going to get that, you just give them the snacks you have in your bag. Like, I can't imagine not being with them. Just make sure you have some in your diaper bag, in the car, in the stroller, backpack, whatever bag you use when you're mobile. Just make sure you have your child's favorite snacks or snacks that they like, um, to prevent meltdowns. All right, and finally, the last one I would say for me is wet wipes. These are like the holy grail. Um, and not only for diapers, right? So for the face, wipe, hands, wipe, yogurt somewhere, wipe, unidentified stickiness on the wall, wipe. Like, you can just use them everywhere. I don't use the scented ones, I use the 99% water. And these, I would say, I almost keep them everywhere where I have snacks plus. So, you have some in the bedroom, you have in the lounge, you have in the bathroom, you have in the car, you have in the diaper bag, and whatnot. It's like wherever there's life, make sure that you also have wet wipes there. It's kind of like a micro addiction, but they're a lifesaver. You can never have too many wet wipes. I have found myself in situations where, because I have them everywhere, right? I was under the impression that I have enough, and then I ran out, and oh my gosh, I'm not yet ready to do without wet wipes. I don't know, at which point in life one can be like, okay, the wet wipe era is done. I'm not there yet, but when the day comes, I'll give a shout. So there you go. Those are 5 absolutely random items, but I find they're very, very essential for toddler parents. Drop a comment and let me know, what's your parenting essential, and did I forget anything that you deem a must-have? If you haven't already liked this video, hit the subscribe button and share this with your favorite exhausted parent. See you next time. Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.